Glad to have you back. And if you're just joining us, you're watching Nigeria Decides on Plus TV Africa. Now it's time to shift focus to the Nigeria Police. Now we know that the Nigeria Police is the principal law enforcement agency in the country, but are they properly equipped to enforce the law and protect citizens? Joining us to do just enough of justice to these and more, we have Nnamdi Izuako, the Managing Director of Media Motion, is also a media consultant, as well as Yetunde Adekunle, the National President of World Changes Youth Initiative. Ladies, gentlemen, good evening.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we are talking about the Nigeria Police and the state at which we are. In your scorecard so far, in the last 3.5, 4 years, how do you think they've fared so far, relatively?
Quite poorly, to be honest, and you do not have to blame them 100%, you know, because they lack funding, they lack training. Sometime last year, a staff of mine, had issues with the company phone. So we sent them to the police station to report. And then, these digital receipts that, they gave recently. And then the policeman he was talking to said, this doesn't look like a receipt. Now, you do not blame him for that. That's a factor of training. That's a factor of funding. If you go to their barracks, if you go to, even they are not paid on time. So if you want a motivated police, it costs money. If you want a established force, that will listen to rules and then do things the way they're supposed to do, it costs money, it costs training, it doesn't come cheap. And unfortunately down here, we did not make the link between a well-trained police force and the actions they take. I just gave you an example for something as little as a receipt. He doesn't know. Nobody taught him, he didn't go for training. And it's not just a factor of, because we kind of have a way of segmenting the problems we have. I'm not sure there is any security agencies that is well funded. So until we begin to do that, until we begin to pay them what is due, until we begin to train them and explain to them that everything doesn't have to do with an AK-47, the manner, so it's just a factor of the society do not care about the police, and then the police are not able to do their job. So they are trying with all the...
Now, the face of the police force has been dented with a whole lot of wrong images, because we see the faces we see on our streets and we are not so impressed. 10 years, a decade, 20 years, and a whole lot more bad images. But in the last 4 years under the Buhari-led administration, how would you say the police force has done so far, from your observation?
Well, personally, it's still the same thing. The police force are not doing up to our expectation, but better off than the way they were. Like, I sat down and I was looking at it, and I tried to rate them in using some parameters. So, being a citizen of Nigeria, I'm not a security expert here. So, but the security of the society and that of myself and my immediate environment is very, very important. And that is why we are conscious of those facts. So I started looking at it and I said, okay, to rate them from some few parameters: appearance. You talk about image, delivery, and their strategic system. The World Science International Police Group rated Nigeria the lowest in their ranking. They put together 123 countries, and Nigeria was rated, below. We were the worst. Even after Kenya, you understand? After Kenya, after Pakistan and all that, 123 countries were the lowest. And we scored about 0.06%. You understand? That's below, it's too poor. And looking at what was even the parameters they used in doing the indices they used in doing this? They look at capacity, they looked at process, and they looked at delivery too. I related it with what I had already planned, and it was almost the same thing. Take, for example, you're in the society. I've seen a policeman wear a Dunlop slippers with his uniform, all tucked out.
Some even drunk while on duty.
Yeah. I've seen a policeman slip on his uniform. And I'm like, wow, are those the people representing us and securing the country? Look at the kind of image compared to, even if you have not traveled out of the country, compared to those images you see on films, how their security officers, dresses, it projects and promotes the aim of the organization.
Now, Yetunde, let me bring this to you. Talking about the image and how Nigerian police officers even dress, because sometimes it's not just about money and motivation. Someone who would want to dress nice would always dress nice with the little that they have. So if we're having more police officers portraying the kind of image that we don't want our force to bear, what could be the reason why that is happening?
Mindset, orientation. You can't force a man to do what he does not understand. Like I do say, and we already know that there's a story or a saying that goes around saying that if we should pack all Nigerians to USA today, I would bring all USA to Nigeria. In a year, Nigerians will still go and queue to get visa to come back to Nigeria. Why? It's not about the land, it's about the mind.
Now, talking about that, some others will say, well, we also have a police force. They're just like dogs that don't bite, because at the end of the day, the face of the military still wields some level of authority. But the police force, well, everybody just says they can't do anything. And when they want to do anything, it is in the line of unethical practices. What's also your response to that as well?
Well, in that too, I believe that they still need orientation of the mind. We need to bring them to a place where they understand their primary duties.
Then where lies the recruitment process? Because at the end of the day, we notice that even you look at Zamfara State, ranking so high when you're looking at the police recruitment, and you can't, that's just an unanswerable situation.
Well, I think we're going about this the wrong way, in the sense that we're trying to figure out what exactly is the problem with the police force. I think the bigger question, the more engaging question is, why isn't any institution really working the way it's supposed to work? Because the problems of the Nigerian police is not limited to the Nigerian police. We've seen videos online of military men right in the midst of warfare, like giving their life to our fatherland. And you see them complain, oh, we don't have equipment, or our machines are faulty, we don't have enough bullets. So if you look at the whole picture as a whole, it's not just the police. We should be asking ourselves, why is it that we're not able to run institutions properly? Doesn't matter, police is just a symptom of the larger society, yeah? So and then it goes around, for instance, you might be talking about, like we're talking about policemen now, and then you bring up a topic like football, for instance. We are not doing well in football either. The reason why I link up the two is that for a society to function properly, everything has to work. They're all intertwined, yeah? So you cannot expect a society where the fire service is not working. It's not working. You cannot expect a society where the military are complaining. These are the people in I still do not understand why we are not giving them everything they need. I don't get that. Like, we're fighting a war. And it's not about propaganda, it's not about, the opposition or whatever, or politics. It's about men in the war front complaining about arms. It's unbelievable.
Okay, so where does it boil down to? Where do we even begin? You said that it cuts across institutions.
Yes.
So where does this begin, resolving this problem?
A lot of people will say the leadership. I'll beg to disagree, because the people deserve the leaders they get. It's not rocket science, yeah? People deserve the leaders they get. So it's not leadership, because we've tried all manners of leaders. We've tried the military. And by the the military days were really bad. Yes, we love democracy, but there are countries that were developed by military people. Yeah? It's not like once you're a military man in power, therefore you won't have light, you won't have water. So what I'm trying to say is this. It's not the leadership, it's us, the people. We do not demand for anything.
But then, given the state of the Nigerian state, we of course know that Nigeria is far from, some people would argue, a nation. The fact that we have different people with different beliefs and all of that coming together. So how can we then say that the people deserve the kind of leaders they're getting in
Yes.
this case?
Yes, because the people leading us are not foreigners, they're not from India, Nigerians. Some told us that, you know, they do not have shoes when they didn't have shoes when they were kids. And then we're like, oh, okay, maybe he will get it. Yeah, some has told us, some we've been told that, you know, they're very strict, they have integrity, they're all of that. And then we jump on it. So the question is, we should be asking ourselves, since 1999 actually, when I started paying attention to politics properly, till now, have we made any significant progress in anything at all? I know the topic is for police, but I wanted to look at it at you know, through a bigger picture. We've been going down since 99. The only thing that is constant, which is why I said it's the followership, is this, the people. Georgia, when they had their Orange Revolution, I think over 15 years ago, had the same problem with the police, corruption and all that. And the model they took is any policeman that commits any crime, let's say in this locality you have a DPO, and then they say, oh, we have some policemen taking bribe around the corner. Do you know what they do? They sack the policeman in charge, not the little boys, forgive my language, not the lower cadre of officers.
Who perpetrated it?
But the man. So if there is no accountability, it's just how it works. If there is no accountability, there is no motivation to change.
Now, talking about accountability quickly, we looked at the recruitment process of the police and we say, well, that's not enough done. But the appointment of the Inspector General of Police also has been the bane of so many discussions. Why do we always have the president having to decide and say, well, this is the new Inspector General of Police, and then or not? So how do you think this appointment also skews their performance? Because like we've always overflogged this, it's almost like a cliche. They say whoever pays the piper dictates the tune. So they're just puppets under the powers of those that be, according to some school of thought. What do you think?
Well, we have always had this problem in Nigeria, whereby before you take up any important position, they do not, first of all, take it that it is about delivery, what you can deliver to the people. It's just about who you know.
Oh, where you? Okay. Who you know?
Who you know.
Okay.
You know, that's why there's a new party that I joined, and the ideology is that it's a platform created for a normal Nigerian, ordinary Nigerian. You can become anything you want to become. So far, you have the passion and you have the technical know-how, you have the skill. So we have always, you know, we have misplaced priorities in all the sectors of the society. Take, for example, the agricultural sector. We need someone who has the education and the technical know-how for that sector. But yet we bring someone from maybe the medical line to head the department, just not based on merit, but based on who you know.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Yetunde. Definitely we'll get your insight. You're talking about the fact that meritocracy may not really be the order of the day in the Nigerian Police Force. Thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. Yetunde Adekunle, she is the National President, World Changes Youth Initiative. We've also been speaking to Nnamdi Izuako. He is the MD, Media Motion. The discussion on the issues surrounding the Nigerian police continues after the short break. Nigeria Decides returns. Don't go away.